And it should be coming. There we go. We're on. We're live. And tonight on Ask the Witch Doctor, we have Chris Marie, whose show is Other Side, and she's got an episode of that out on Amazon Prime right now, and you can catch that.
Oh,
Tell us
okay.
about some some paranormal investigation and stuff like that, and a little bit about her show. And I'm just so glad that you're here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, that's great. So tell us, you guys were at in Missouri when you filmed The Other Side. Is that correct?
Yes, at the Missouri State Penitentiary.
Mm.
It was a
Were
pretty good experience. Time.
awesome. Were there a lot of you guys that went on that investigation?
So for the cast, we had, I believe we had, let's see here. Regina, Steve Lee, Cole, Haley, Scarlett. I think we had like 8 for the cast. And
Okay.
then of course the crew also. We did our best to keep it at a minimum. We split the groups up that were filming and kind of had just a very like almost a skeleton crew go with each group so that there
Right.
wasn't a lot of interference with the spirits.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Like probably the smaller the group, the better. I would think.
Yes,
To just
definitely.
commune with the spirits. So,
Yes.
what did you, without like being a spoiler, what did you find there? I mean, were you sufficiently impressed that there were definitely spirits there?
Yes, for sure. One of the things that we set out to do with this show was so Regina Blatt, who is our concept creator on the show, she came up with this idea to put people, if you already deal with spirits in a different way, whatever your religion is,
Mm-hmm.
she wanted to kind of bring them together and let them work together and see if they couldn't get the same answers using their own different techniques. So
Oh, yeah, that's good.
yeah, so she has she presented this idea to me, and I mean, as soon as she said it, I was like, I love it. Let's run with it.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
we reached out and we had on our cast, we have a shaman, a Wiccan witch, we have Hailey, who is our intuitive, we have a
Nice.
tarot card reader, and then of course we have Lee and Regina, who are paranormal investigators as well. And one of the things that we did notice, which is kind of what we set out to, you know, while yes, our goal was to determine, if there were spirits and to hear their stories, something we also wanted to determine was whether or not we would get the same sort of answers. And they discovered that did, in fact, everybody does something a little bit differently. And they did, in fact, that like the tarot reading was matching up with what the dowsing rods were.
Nice.
So, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, yes, it was definitely, we found obvious signs of paranormal activity there. But the bigger thing for us was that we found that you can take this group of different people and put them together, and collectively they're going to be able to work together and come up with the same answers, just
Nice.
different ways.
And that's really good because if you don't have verification, a lot of times you're just not even sure if it
Right.
happened. It's like, did I really just see that?
Yeah.
But if 3 people saw it, then it's probably happening.
Right. And just the fact that, like, for example, when they were doing the tarot reading, they were reading tarot cards and answering questions with the dowsing rods, and to see that those answers matched, it's not even just proof that there is an existence there, but it's also proof that, even though you do things one way and you do things another, you can work together, and it doesn't mean that means that neither one of you are wrong. Like, you were both right, or you both came up with the same answers,
Exactly. And it's just, I mean, I think that, to be able to have that sort of verification across different styles or different media, however you want to say it, is
Yeah.
just incredible. I mean, it should tell us all that this stuff really does exist.
Right. Yep. I agree.
It's not
You know, and see,
paranormal. It's
and
just
that's
this
another
side of
thing is
normal.
we're even going so far as we really want a skeptic as well. Like we want
Yeah,
someone who just truly does not believe to come
right.
and experience it, and then we want to see what their thoughts are after they leave. You know?
Right. Maybe they'll say, "Oh, pshaw," or maybe they'll say, "Gee, there might be something to that,"
Yeah.
you know, which is good because I think if you can get a skeptic to admit there might have been something to that, then
Yeah.
you really found something. I think
No, I agree.
so.
I agree.
We're talking about pendulums. There's my pendulum.
Oh, and I didn't even think to bring mine. I have an
Oh no!
amethyst.
Yeah. Oh, you have amethyst.
Yes, I have it. It's in
Okay.
the other room actually. But
Mine's an obsidian. So
oh, nice. Okay. All
yeah.
right. Yeah,
I'm trying
Haley.
to define when the kittens are coming.
Oh, okay. So
So
I had never really worked with a pendulum before, and
uh-huh,
I guess it was probably right after we filmed, just a few months after we filmed. I was on the phone with Haley, and I had gone to visit Colleen. She lives just like an hour north of me.
uh-huh.
Colleen is our Wiccan witch in the show.
Oh, nice.
She works for a shop, and I went up there to go visit her. And of course, I was shopping, and I was getting crystals, and
Hmm.
there was something about this pendulum, and I was like, it just called. I knew I went in there wanting a pendulum. I just didn't know what I wanted, but that amethyst was
Right.
just really calling to me. So I grabbed it and I told Haley about it. And literally, I don't remember if it was the same night that I got it. I feel like it was the same night that I got it, but it also could have been the next night.
Uh-huh.
We sat on FaceTime and she was like showing me, she said, she's like, really connect it to yourself. You want to imagine
Right.
this white light. And she gave me a great detailed description of how I can envision it to
Right.
help me have a better understanding. And I
Yeah.
did. And I work with my pendulum. I ask it questions and
Hmm.
I really, it's kind of like we talked about briefly. I don't identify as a witch, but it's things like this that I'm like, I've got a little bit of a bewitched side to me.
I think it's just very spiritual,
Yeah,
and we sort of delve into things that are of the earth,
right.
like the pendulum came from the earth, and it connects you to earth and it connects you to your higher self, you know.
Right.
So I think it's just tuning in, really. I think witches really just tune in to the things around them,
Right.
to nature and to themselves, we listen to our intuition when we hear it.
Mhm. Yep.
We try and avoid things, because we listen to our intuition, and we try to make the world a little better place, because we're non-judgmental,
Yeah.
because we realize that life is hard, and that most people react to things out of fear, and if they can overcome their fear, then I
Mhm.
think that that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, what kind of things have you been asking your pendulum?
So I ask it a lot of questions. One of the most recent ones I asked, I was feeling a bit disheartened. That's very hard, very difficult to do the show. I've asked it, am I on the right path? Am I the right person for this?
Right.
Um, I want to make sure, when Regina came to me and brought me this idea, it it was, it just like literally I was like, I want to do this for her, but I don't want to just do it. I want to do it right. I want to do it well.
Yes.
And I have a concern that because it's so hard to get to get a TV show going. And of
Hmm.
course, if you're not getting the views and the ratings that you want, I do
Right.
struggle a little bit with did I have I done right by her? Have I really made her um have I made her proud? Have I made the entire cast and the crew proud? And am I
Yeah.
the right person?
But you know
So
what? I think it's
when
a good
I'm
thing
feeling like
because
that,
you
yeah,
care
when I'm
as
feeling
much
like that, I pull it out.
about them. you care as much about them being satisfied as yourself.
Right.
So it's more like, I want to do my best job for them because I
For
care
sure. For
about them.
sure.
you know and I think people kind of lose sight of that, and they're doing things for the wrong reasons, but it sounds like you're really, doing things for the right reasons, so that tells me that you're probably on the right track.
And the thing is, like, generally when I'm doubting myself, I use it when I'm having a lot of doubts in either myself or the answer or the direction I'm going, and I just want some kind of affirmation that I'm not just totally going to bomb things.
Uh-huh.
And I have noticed that the majority of the time, the answer that I get is, very positive. You're doing very well, or you're keep on the right track. I do ask that a lot. And then there's times that I ask, will I, am I on the right path to healing? There's a lot of things that I'm working through in my life, but
Oh,
the
sure.
thing that I like the most is that I really do feel, unlike anything else I've ever had, I do feel an actual connection to this. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
there's times I don't even want to use it, but I just want to hold it. And
Yeah.
so it's almost like it's this connection. And I go back to that day walking around the shop. I
Hmm.
walked by it 3 times before I finally said, okay, that's it. I'm getting it.
Yeah, I've done that with stones before. It's like I'll look at it, might even pick it up, and then I
Yeah.
put it down and I walk away, and then I'll end up going back and picking it up and buying it.
Well, that's
Because
what
it
I've
was
done
like,
with all mine too.
yeah, yeah, you kind of have to try it on, but if it
Yeah.
seems like it's a good fit, you should get it.
Yeah. Agreed.
And it's funny how you'll be attracted to something that, you'll look back at the meaning of it and you'll go, well, I really did mean that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's good because amethyst is a little protection.
Yes.
So maybe when you're out there with other entities, you just need to stay protected.
Probably.
Yeah,
And that's
because you
why I love it,
can't let that
because
stuff in.
we have so many. When we did our opening prayer, Regina did Regina, we stood around us, and Regina did a prayer, and then Steve
Nice.
did one as well, and he gave us everybody, that he said, this is fur from the white wolf. It was his white wolf, and obviously very protective.
Yeah,
He did a prayer over us, so we very much, to me, that's very important. To make sure that I am, as protected as I possibly can be.
yeah, yeah. Because they can suck your soul dry. But if you are protected and you don't let it, it's fine. And
Yeah.
you can interact with them and be just fine after.
Yep. Yep.
As a matter of fact, I got a lift. I was at the cemetery with my aunt and uncle, and it's a military cemetery, so they share a headstone. He's
Uh-huh.
on the front, she's on the back, and I touched the headstone, and I felt such overwhelming peace in my whole entire body. It
Yeah.
was just amazing. And I knew then that they were there and they were at peace. They
Yeah.
had no regrets or anything at all. They were glad to be where they were. I think they were probably together, and they were at total peace. It was amazing. It felt great, really. And it was kind of uplifting.
Um,
Have you ever had that feeling, like
I
being
have
in
actually,
contact
I
with
was
them?
going to say, I've had a very similar experience. And so I know what you're talking about. It's almost just very like calming, and no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But that's
it's a good
interesting that
feeling.
yours happened at, like, with a headstone. That's interesting.
Yeah, I touched the headstone, and that's what I got off of it was just this overwhelming feeling of peace. So I don't know, and I don't really consider myself a medium, you know, but
Uh-huh.
I am I'm an empath, I guess, because I get feelings,
Mhm.
and I sometimes I get images, sometimes voices, but I don't know if it's just the voice in my head.
See, that's my problem too. Did I hear
Yeah,
that, or was
well,
that just the voices?
yeah, without verification, you don't always know. So I
Right.
think what like you said with a lot of people finding the same things, it's really great. You get that validation, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it really did happen.
Hi, I just saw Jeremy
So,
pop on. Hi, y'all.
yeah, yeah. Jeremy's here. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having us on your network again. So yeah. So what do you do? What other crystals do you use? Like what would you put? What would you grab and take on an investigation? Put in your pocket or something?
Well, I have obsidian. I have I for some reason I've been carrying my red jasper a lot with me.
Okay. Uh huh.
That which is something new. On a paranormal investigation. You know what? Honestly, it kind of I usually when I'm leaving, I pack up all of the ones that I feel like might be essential to me,
Sure.
and I put my little selenite in there. Obviously, selenite's one that I'm going to take as well. And
My
typically, I
little
just kind
bag.
of whatever I feel. I haven't used crystals a lot in a paranormal
Just
investigation.
selenite.
Um, yep. See, I have one very similar to that.
Yep.
Yep.
And then this is I have green jasper.
Okay. So
Uh,
tell me now. I'm not familiar with all the crystals. What is the green jasper?
well, it's the same. It'd be pretty much the same as the
The same
red.
as the
It's
red.
just a different color. Yeah, just a different color. There's several colors of jasper.
Okay. Okay.
I'd have to look though on my Google to see properties of jasper. I love the internet. This is so great.
I know, me
You
too. I
can.
literally, if I'm at the store and I feel drawn to something and I don't know what it is, I'll just Google it. I'll be like, "What is this?"
I have it now. I have a little app that you can take a picture of the plants in the yard, and it'll tell you what it is and if it has medicinal properties and all this stuff.
Oh,
It's
cool.
great.
Well,
Red
now there was
jasper
one
is
called
healing,
like
supports the
stone clear.
circulatory system, detoxifying the body, and strengthening the heart. So
Oh,
you maybe detoxing or something, or you know,
maybe.
yeah. And so then it sustains and supports through times of stress and brings tranquility and wholeness.
There we go.
So that's the red jasper.
Yeah, and
So
that's probably why I'm pulling is because it leads to time of tranquility. Like that's probably why I'm
yeah,
being drawn to it somewhat so much.
it's a stone of stability.
There you go.
Mm.
But I've been
Red
actually.
jasper is root chakra too. I should have known
Mm,
that one. It's the root chakra. So it could be you need a little work on your root chakra.
it could be.
So there you go. Awesome. I have a
This
piece
is,
of laboradite.
and you know what?
Uh,
I have a little bit of that. I don't have it over here. I do have some of that.
yeah.
I'm glad you
I,
clarified that because I never was 100% sure how to say that.
oh, laboradite.
Uh,
It's labradite.
is
It looks
it
like Labrador, but it's laboradite. Yeah, laboradite.
laboradite? Okay.
Yeah. And then this I did the wire wrap on myself, and it's a it is opal it's not an opal, it's opal something. Opalescence, something like that.
So do you make jewelry
So
when you said that? Is that what you said you did the
yeah, oh yeah, I make jewelry and I do wire
Oh, okay.
wraps and stuff like that.
Nice.
So yeah, it's kind of cool. I use teeth too to make jewelry. I have a bunch of coyote teeth, but I also have human teeth. I just save them, you know, wherever you can get them. Um, I
Okay.
had a, quite a few as being the tooth fairy, you know,
Okay.
because yes, I was the tooth fairy. And so of course I saved all those, and I made little jars, little tiny jars that had her baby
Mhm.
teeth in them.
Oh, okay. I
So
gotcha.
yeah, yeah, they had little colored stones and baby teeth. So
Oh, colored
I
stones and
know,
baby teeth.
I
Not
know.
something
It's
you see
just,
very often in jewelry.
I know, right? Well, that's kind of why I liked it because it was unique, you know. And
Yeah.
I do skulls that I paint. You know, coyote. I have a deer skull that I painted. It's pretty cool. It's I was in a neon phase, so
Yeah.
everything I painted was in neon colors.
So I absolutely wish I was more like crafty or creative. I wish that I could paint, or I wish I was artsy or could sketch or something. That's Haley.
Yeah.
Haley is 100%. She's so artsy. She's very crafty and
Oh,
uh,
nice.
so talented when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. Well, we might be doing an art retreat down here as well,
Ah,
because
nice.
my cousin is an artist, and he
Mm-hmm.
was thinking of doing like little 3 or 4 day art retreats,
Uh-huh.
where you could go and we can all walk down to the beach and draw, the the pigeons, the seagulls, and
Draw
the
the
beach, the
pigeons.
water,
Yeah.
and you could sketch it, and then you could paint it, and he would help people with their technique and stuff, because he's very good. He does a lot of murals.
Oh,
So
okay, nice.
yeah, he's done murals all over town. He's doing Huntsville, and Texas, and he's doing a lot in Huntsville, Texas. So
Okay,
mhm.
cool.
Yeah, have you been to Huntsville?
I've passed through. I've never actually been there.
There's a prison museum there.
Yeah,
We should
that's
go
the only
scope it
thing I
out.
know in Huntsville is the prison of the museum.
The prison museum. I went there when I was a kid, and they have the old Sparky, the electric chair. We should go see
Really?
if we can pick up on anything like
Oh,
take a ghost box in there and see if we can hear
yeah,
anything.
that would be
That might be
interesting.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Why don't I get on that and see if I can arrange something?
No,
Yeah.
I definitely have been through there, but I've never actually stopped. I've never even
Yeah.
been to the museum. I didn't know they had a museum there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. And there's a lot of, homemade shanks and things like that, and, different types of cuffs and,
Yeah,
restraints and things like that. And then they have the
they did
old
have all that
electric
when we
chair.
were in Missouri filming. They had a museum that had all that stuff into it. So
Oh
you
yeah, at
could
the
not
at the
believe
prison there. Yeah.
anything that they could think of that they would break, like little plastic pieces, and just break it into points, and then just bundle a bunch of them together with like a rubber
Right.
band or tape. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a shank. That's
Yeah.
insane that something like that could kill another human. Like, it's just
Oh
crazy
yeah.
to me.
When
Mm,
delivered to the right area, yeah.
yeah.
It is crazy. And the lengths they would go to kill someone when they're
Yeah.
already in prison.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, do you just not
It's
care?
like
You want to
what's
stay longer?
yeah, you just have to at that point not give a crap anymore. But I think too they have to it's almost like if you don't kill them, you're going to be next on the list.
Right.
Because there's a whole society in there. So,
Hmm.
was there a death row at this prison where you visited?
There was.
There was. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go down the hallway
Um,
there?
so yeah, I did a walkthrough. I did not get to investigate with them. They did on the show.
Okay.
Um, each group spent a little bit of time in death row.
Okay.
Wait, actually, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm trying to remember. Was death row? Yeah, death row. That death row was not the one that I was in. Okay, so I was in the dungeons, and that's where I was when I got
Oh.
sick. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I didn't get to go in on death row with them. That
Oh,
was something
wow.
they did because I wasn't there. I was sick.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a
Yeah,
drag because there's probably some stuff there, I would think.
yeah.
Unhappy.
I think that both groups that went in actually had some really good experiences.
Were they like, I mean, in your general knowledge, are most spirits, they're not angry, are they?
No, I don't want to say most spirits are angry. In fact, I've dealt with very few angry spirits. I mean, yeah, obviously they're there, but um, I feel like the majority of them are just, whether they're just stuck or whether that's where just they want to be. I don't deal with that many, or I haven't come across a whole lot of angry ones. Like maybe, let's just say I could count on one hand the ones that were
Okay.
like angry or dark. Now, I will, if you watch the pilot episode of our show,
Uh,
you will see that
yeah.
they did come across something that it was not a human spirit. It was dark. So there's obviously stuff there in the Missouri State
Right.
Penitentiary that's,
Wow.
kind of a little more evil.
Wow. That's a trip, man.
Yeah.
I I don't, that's kind of why, like, I'm kind of particular about where I go for stuff, because it's like
Mhm.
I really don't want to encounter them,
Yeah. No,
the
for sure,
angry,
for
the
sure.
angry spirits, the sort of blackened souls. I really don't want to meet them. I
Yeah.
never fucked with a Ouija board ever in my
No,
whole
and I
life.
haven't either. And you know what? It's interesting that you brought this topic up because there was a few of the cast members did a different podcast, and that topic actually came up. That's not something that we've ever done. We've never
Uh-huh.
worked with one,
Yeah.
but we're not opposed to it. I know that
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of stigma surrounding it and negativity, but if you think about it, that same negativity, ugliness, and stigma is surrounding anything paranormal, supernatural, any of that. So it's really just kind of up to each individual person's
There's a
belief.
bad apple in every bunch.
Yeah. So
Whether you're on
that
this
is
side or that
something.
side.
Yeah, that is something that we could potentially use in future episodes, but it would have to be the right fit. It wouldn't be just, oh, hey, let's pull out the Ouija board on our next episode. I think you would
Right.
really want to, we would really want to make sure it was the right time.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
we've never done that
Well, and
before.
I think if you
So
prepare yourself ahead of time,
that's
to
true.
maintain control of the situation,
Right.
and ask them to go back where they came from when they come out,
Hmm.
I think if you're in your power,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing. But I think a lot of people screw with it, thinking it's a joke, and I really
No,
think it's not.
100%. I mean,
Yeah,
when I was a child, people would talk about them, and I don't think I ever played with one when I was a child, but
yeah,
I can't recall that I ever did. But I know people who did, and it's like to them it was no big deal. And
yeah.
now I'm looking back like, oh my gosh, what were you guys thinking? You had no idea how dangerous that is.
Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah, because stuff like that can attach to you, and especially if you're real suggestible, I guess, or
mhm,
prone to like being susceptible easily to suggestion.
right,
Like if you can be hypnotized easily, you probably shouldn't play at the Ouija board.
right. I can honestly say I've never been hypnotized before.
Me
I've
either.
always wanted to try it, but it'd
I
have to
tried
be the
it a
right.
couple times. They can't get me to go under. I just can't.
Really?
I can't do it. No. And it's just I mean it's not something I think is a bad thing necessarily.
Yeah,
I can't do it. I
yeah,
tried, I even tried to like just let go. Let go. This wouldn't happen. So,
yeah,
but and I know actually it's a form of mental health care that has probably helped a lot of people.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah,
But anyway, Jeremy was here. I don't know if he's still here, but I'm glad he came by. That's good. And this one here is it's a chiasmata, I believe is what they call it, chiasmata. But it's a pilgrim stone because it
okay,
has like the cross in it,
uh-huh,
and, and
I
it's
see that,
yeah, the cross is like graphite, but it's a
okay,
natural formation in the stone.
okay,
So they called it a pilgrim stone, of course, because it had the cross in it, and the pilgrims would buy them on their progress, and as like a protection or whatever,
yeah,
something like that. Of course, then I'm doing the podcast, so I have to have my throat chakra lapis
lapis, okay,
for the throat chakra, so that's good too.
yeah,
Yeah, I love stones. I've always been kind of a rock collector, and
yeah,
now it's just like gone off the chart.
yeah.
Rock collecting.
That's another one of the things that I'm fairly new into. I just kind of when I'm there, if I'm drawn to something, I look it up and see, potentially why I might be drawn to it at the store. And if I feel like it's something that it's actually worth me getting, then I'll get it. I don't, again, it's something that I haven't, I didn't dive right into it, but I'm
Right.
definitely checking it out. And
Rocks have good
I love
vibes,
them.
and if your vibrations are not feeling right, grab a rock because they got
Yeah,
good
yeah, for sure.
vibes. Yeah, it's sort of like grounding. I mean, grounding's so great. People don't go out in the grass anymore, and they're with no shoes on.
Right.
You know, there might be dog poo out there or a thistle or something, you know? Oh my God, I might step on something. So then nobody takes their shoes off. But really, then, you're missing out on that electronics change with the earth,
Yeah.
and getting charged up again.
Yeah. And we
So,
actually we caught some behind the scenes of both Haley and Colleen actually doing during filming, in between filming, they were taking a little break and they were outside doing some grounding,
yeah,
and we did get some behind the scenes photos of that. So yeah, it's very
that's nice.
important. To me,
Yeah.
I usually end up doing that quite frequently throughout an investigation. If I need to step away and do it, I will. So yeah,
Yeah.
don't do it
Yeah.
barefoot. You're right about that. I don't actually walk outside barefoot. I'm terrified of stepping on something.
Well, you should, when in a safe space, go and take your shoes off and actually touch the ground.
Yeah,
It's good
that's
for
true too.
us. It is
Yeah.
good. And sometimes I'll just go lay out in the little, like the grass, the
And like a
grassy area
grassy
out front.
area.
It's like clover. And so I'll just go out and plop in the clover and just lay
Yeah.
there for a little bit and take it in. So,
See, I like that. I don't even know. I don't know a whole lot about grass, but I like that. It's like the fluffy green. Maybe it's St. Augustine. I don't know. That name just popped into my head when I was saying it.
uh-huh.
So, oh, you're good right here.
Yeah. Are you talking about the one that gets the long stalk and it has a puff at the end?
No, it's just
Oh,
like just the grass. It's just the. It is St. Augustine. Yeah, my sister said it's St. Augustine, and it's just that's my
okay.
favorite to go out there and just like sit in, just because I don't have to worry about it. It's more
Yeah.
comfortable. I don't
Yeah. It's good. That's what we've tried to like have as many native things in the yard
know.
here, just because it's easier to maintain it,
Hmm.
when you're not trying to fight against, nature.
Yeah.
Like those don't grow anywhere near here. Stop trying to grow them. So, but we do have a peach tree out back. So,
Oh, nice. I'm
yeah.
not a big fan of peaches, but man, I bet that must be nice to have one out in your backyard.
Yeah, it's nice. And I want to plant another pecan tree because we had to cut down the pecan. It got
Oh,
it,
okay.
it got some damage and then we had to cut it down. So I'd like to put in another one in its place.
Yeah,
So, because that's always a good southern thing, having
it
a
is a good
pecan
southern
tree in
thing.
your yard.
Some pecan
So,
pie.
yeah, pecan pie. Oh my God, I love that stuff. And I make Brussels sprouts with pecans.
With
So you cut
pecans,
the
really?
Brussels sprouts kind of thin, you cook bacon, and then
Uh-huh.
you take the bacon bits out and put your Brussels sprouts in the bacon grease, fry them up with some onion, a little onion in the Brussels sprouts, throw in some pecans and your bacon bits, and that is the best Brussels sprout you'll ever have.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you can't go wrong with bacon first,
Yeah, that's true. Bacon on anything.
I know, right? Anything with bacon makes it better.
That's,
Um,
yeah, that's right.
Literally, we had chocolate covered bacon at the fair, and it
That's a
really
big
was.
thing.
It really was good.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but yeah, chocolate covered bacon is not bad.
Yeah.
So anyway, what do you got coming up with stuff? Any more filming planned or any trips
Um,
to haunted places on the agenda?
Sort of. So yes, we
Cool.
are in the process of trying to schedule when we're going to film our next couple of episodes.
Oh,
I
great.
unfortunately can't talk about locations for those because
Of course.
we don't want it to get out to the cast. We want the cast to go in having no knowledge of it. So our plan is
I've heard that
to,
a lot.
yeah, our plan is to I'm going to be really sneaky about it. I'm going to tell him you need to be ready to go this day. The weather is going to be like this. I'm not even going to tell him what time to be ready. I'm just going to say your flight leaves somewhere around this time frame. So you'll
Okay.
need to be ready to leave. So they will not actually know where they're flying into until they get to the
That's
airport.
exciting. Yeah.
Um, Once they get there, they'll have, we'll send them their boarding pass and their itinerary and everything.
Uh-huh.
Um, so from there, they might potentially be able to narrow down where they're going to, but I don't think it's going to give them enough time to really get into anything. And honestly,
Right.
I genuinely believe this group of people in particular, they want to actually go in and find out organically, and they want it to be authentic and
Yeah.
natural. They don't want to have done any research on this, and that's what I respect about them a lot, is that they want to make sure that the information that they're getting is accurate, but it's information that they're getting themselves, and they're not just reading from other people.
Right. Well,
So
they care about the integrity of the investigation, and that's cool.
Yeah. They
really
really
cool.
and truly do. I love it so much because they want to make sure that they're just, I do like that. And like I said, I can't talk enough about how amazing this group is. You know, you have Regina and Lee, who've been investigating for so many years, and they have just such an extensive knowledge. And then you have the rest of the crew who, while they've never done anything like this, they have experience with spirits. And so therefore it is something that's new to them, but it also is something that's familiar as well. Yeah. So it works very well. I'm sorry. I think I got off topic there. I do.
No, that's okay. No, that's okay. I and I had asked you what you had upcoming. So that's good. Yeah. It's exciting.
So other than that, really nothing for me personally planned. I keep saying I'm going to, I just haven't done it yet.
Are there any places around Dallas that you can go scope out just on a weekend?
I mean, there probably are places up around here. But I feel like the places that are going to offer more potential for paranormal evidence, I feel like they're not in the Dallas area. I feel like they're outside of the DFW metro.
Is it too new there? Kind of like too recent? Although, maybe we could talk to JFK. Maybe. That might be something interesting to try and communicate with JFK. I don't know if he'd still be there on the green, but
you never know.
You never know.
No,
you should check it out, man. I'd do it if I was there.
I would feel.
I actually have been there. I visited there when I went to Dallas.
Oh, have you been to the green where he was shot?
Yeah.
Okay. As far as Dallas, I would feel like most of the areas, again, maybe it is too new. I don't know if that's it or not. I just know that when I was doing research, and let me tell you, I have done a lot of research looking for locations that A, have not been done on TV before, and B, offer enough space and room for our groups to split up.
Right.
So I had to do a lot of research, and during that time, I really didn't find a lot in Dallas or Fort Worth proper. Now, if there's any listeners or anybody out there that know of anything, correct me if I'm wrong. If you know of something in the Dallas area, that'd be awesome. But I feel like most everything is going to be a little bit south, or even east or west, maybe west, a little bit more, maybe more south, and then west, and then from there, there's some of the east or north of us. But I feel like there's just like this. I almost want to say like the whole west and south is probably a little bit more has a little bit more activity from what I could find. Because everything cool. I was looking for, there's a place called Blackbeard's on the beach in Corpus Christi.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Write that down.
Huh? Yeah.
Write that down.
Blackbeard's on the beach. And I briefly talked with them. We were supposed to film there for a different project. Actually, it ended up falling through. We lost it's a long story, but that one ended up falling through. And that particular location was not big enough for the new concept because it is just a small restaurant. So we looked at possibly having multiple different areas to investigate. And I will tell you that when I spoke with them there, they were very excited to have us and share any experiences or anything like that. So
nice. Maybe I'll have to track on down there and chat him up.
Do reach out to him. I want to say I reached out to him on Facebook.
Okay.
And they got back real quick. And I mean, I really, my plan is to get back there, or to get down
Okay.
there, because I have the history that I read on it. But it would
Right.
have to work with, we would have to find a couple of other places there, because, we have to split the groups up a little bit. So
You
it would
know,
have to
there's a Jewish cemetery here in uh
oh, really?
in Corpus. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I wonder what they would have to say,
That would
those
be
spirits there. So it's
not,
interesting. I drove by there one day and it was like, you know, Star of David's on every stone. So I thought
mhm.
this got to be a Jewish cemetery. But it'd be
Yeah.
interesting to just go there and visit and see,
Yeah.
if I pick up on anything. So
Oh, for sure. That would be interesting.
yeah, but I'm gonna go check out Blackbeards on the beach and
Yeah.
see
Check
what's
that
up
out
with
for
that.
sure. And, if it's something, I mean, they might be willing to let you investigate there. They were going to be willing to let
Yeah,
us from there for 2 nights. They were super chill.
nice.
They are very excited about the haunted history. Of course, this was 2 years ago. Things may be
Yeah.
different now, but
Oh
they were
yeah,
so,
you just don't know. Hey,
yeah.
what do you think about maybe you can give me some insight. Like having an actual ghost box over having the app that you can get for your phone. Is the app just like totally no good or what's the deal? Do you know?
So I've used both. Obviously, there was recently, I went to scout a location and I took two of the production assistants with me, and one of them had an app on his phone. My
Uh-huh.
ghost box wasn't actually working at the time. I'm gonna have to get a new one. Um,
Oh no.
and we used it. And the thing was, it seemed like the words that were coming up, I wanted to look at it and be like, I don't know. I was hesitant to believe that it was real, but at
Okay.
the same time, I was also using the flashlights, and kind of what the flashlights were saying were kind of matching up with what was coming off the app on the phone.
Oh wow.
So it's still, I'd like to do a little more research before I say whether or not I think it's
Right.
a yay or a nay. But
Okay.
I really feel like that's something we should do,
Yeah, yeah.
because
Oh,
you want
yeah,
to know
for sure.
if
Because I
it's
mean,
on the phone
it's
or
all
not.
about investigating. It's all
Yes.
about researching, what works, what doesn't. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So then, are you going to plan any trips down here? Or well, I suppose you're kind of busy right now.
Yeah, yeah. So because the TV show is self-funded, I am working pretty much nonstop as much as I can to raise the funds, to
Okay.
film more episodes.
Okay.
Um, so I do stay pretty busy. However, if something comes up, I'm, down to take advantage of the opportunity. I kind of
Yeah.
make my own schedule. So I
Nice.
do have a little bit of flexibility to go if there's something that comes up. So yeah,
Well, we
I
got a
don't,
B&B. You can come stay with us for a couple days and we'll go check shit out.
yeah, that'd be awesome.
You can be one of our test subjects for the B&B. We'll see. You can give us a little,
There you
a
go.
review.
A
Give us a
review.
review.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we'll see
No,
how we're doing.
I definitely do want to do more investigating. I'm kind of like in the same boat as Haley.
Yeah,
Everybody that I know that does it is more in like Nashville, or Haley's in Colorado.
yeah,
So here in the DFW Metroplex, the only people that go are, that actually investigate aren't really investigators. They're just like friends of mine that are curious that want to tag along on investigations. So I plan one.
sure.
Um,
Yeah, it's
so
like you don't learn a lot from them necessarily, but you might
yeah,
learn from just the experience.
exactly. Exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. As every experience you have is good, I think. Because
Oh
it's
yeah, for
either
sure.
I mean, it's a learning experience. You have to have that takeaway. What's my takeaway? If I get takeaway, I'm good. I'm okay with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So, well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you and getting to
It's
know
been
you.
great talking with you.
And I wish you the best of luck with your show.
Thank
And
you so much.
and if people want to send you a message or something, can they get a hold of you or?
Yeah, absolutely. You can reach out to me on social media. Chris Marie is who I am if you want to find me. But our
Okay.
show is actually The Other Side. You see that name right there?
Yep,
There
the
are
other
two
side.
S's. Yes, there are two S's, but we are on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And
Nice.
we hopefully have some stuff coming up that we've been posting out a few little videos here and there. But hopefully we'll be able to make an announcement on when we plan to film sometime soon. This thing takes a while, but
Great.
we'll get there.
It does take a while for this stuff. So
It takes so long.
just keep going. You'll manifest it. You're making it happen.
I think so. We'll get there.
All right. Well, thanks for
Thank you
joining
so
me
much,
tonight.
Robin.
And I'm going to sign off with everyone and tell them, blessed be and have a great night. And, be mindful of your health and be kind to one another. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
And there we go.